Hello everybody, welcome, a very warm welcome. It's drippy warm, incredibly humid these days here in central Pennsylvania, and yeah, I'm just here. I've got a couple of pots I need to trim, a couple of bowls, like an open bowl and more of an inward kind of bowl. Before I do that, though, I just wanted to every now and again you need to go over your trim tools, don't you, just to bring back the edge a little bit. This is a simple handheld diamond sharpener which has a coarse and a fine side to it. Somebody did say to me, it's better just to wet them a little bit, wet the edge. So, good. So, yeah, anyway, are we in the picture? Are we in the picture? Yeah, as you can see, I've kind of moved in the other wheel that I have, so I've got both my leach chuddles here. Perhaps we just move a bit closer like that. Yeah, so I can't remember the weight of this bowl actually. So I'm just going to tap center him up on the wheel head. Dee, 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 dee. Na, na. Yeah, the tool is cutting quite nicely. Yeah, we just had a workshop here this last weekend. We had Brian and David and Radhika. So a big hi to all of those who were here. Yeah, we did some practicing. Trying to get some of the basics right, you know. Phew. So, I asked myself, where is my mirror? Because I like to use it does help, you know. Remember, when you're doing a bowl, basically what you want to do is be mindful of the inside form of the bowl, so that when you come to trim, you trim accordingly, according to the mental image that you've got of the inside shape of the bowl. So you need to trim the outside. And the outside shape of the bowl should mirror the inside shape. It should follow that form, if you know what I mean. That's my theory anyway. Dee 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 dee. So I don't know whether you can see, but the tool is picking up on the pieces of bits of grog that there is in the clay, whether it be sand or grog, but the tool picks up on them and drags them, so you get a lot of lines sometimes, especially with clay that has grog in it. If you're trimming say porcelain, which doesn't really have grog, then you don't get that. Let me just zoom in a bit. I don't know whether you can. Let me just stop the wheel. Whether you can pick up there and see some of the lines there that the tool is catching on bits of grog. But I mean, that actually one can smooth over that or burnish over. You know, like with the blade of a knife, or okay, so I'm trimming this, and as you can see, there is a change of angle, isn't there? But the inside shape is going to allow me to do that, you see. Quite a gouge there from a bit of grog. I don't really like it, you know, when it's too scratched up like that. to be honest, but okay, so I'm sort of finishing the side wall here, trimming down to the edge of the rim of the pot, which is upside down here, and putting in a shoulder here. The width here is relative to the total width. Now this kind of bowl is more decorative, more of an individual type bowl rather than really a functional bowl. So now it's time to carve out the foot. Let's bring the camera in for that, if we can. Let's see. It's all in the details, isn't it? So I'm thinking about here the depth of the foot from there, this dimension here, the width of the foot, and now we want to carve out the center. So you know, you can do like a skim across the top here, just in case this is going up and down, you know, just to true it up. Seems okay. And now I'm going to, sort of holding the tool rigidly and resting my hand here, I'm going to like put a mark there like that. And I usually do that to start with because it helps me to not go beyond that point. Once I've done it, I can then take the tool in deeper, as you can see I'm doing. Like that. Now I need to remove that piece in the center. So the deepest part of the bowl, let's imagine the bowl was the other way up. The deepest part of the bowl would be the center, wouldn't it? So when we turn it around the other way, the center here needs to be higher there than it is down here. So we need to cut down as we get nearer to the foot ring. We need to go very slightly deeper. Now sometimes people ask me and they say, "Oh Simon, why do you leave that little raised bit there in the middle?" Well, the truth is, you don't have to do that, but it kind of happens naturally, but it doesn't really matter. So when that happens, just let it happen, you know. Now one has got to judge the thickness through the base here. And obviously I don't want to cut away too much here that it becomes thin through the base. So I'm thinking that's probably about right. What I'm going to do now is take the tool and put a bevel on the inside edge of the foot ring, just there. So let's bring the camera back again. You've got some idea about the foot ring there now. What I actually want is, I've got a very small sort of spatula which you can get actually from an art shop. You use it for, you know, for painting, but it's actually really useful in pottery. And so I'm looking at the outside here and seeing some of these scarred, scratchy lines, and thinking about trying to remove them, you know. Now what I've done is, don't know if you noticed, but I picked up a different tool, because this tool has got the cutting edge on the inside here, but this tool has got the cutting edge, or the angle is ground on the outside, and you'll find that that gives you a different effect. And sometimes by changing the tool like that, you can slightly alter the surface texture of the piece. Using the blade I spoke about, I can, if you touch it and then lift it like that, you see, that effectively now we are burnishing or sealing the surface of the clay. Whoop. Which of course is something that they used to do. They used to do back in the day when they didn't have glazes. They would burnish the outside of their pots, and that would render the surface of the pot smooth rather than rough, and that would also act as make the pot easier to clean, because food wouldn't get trapped, you know, in the pores of the pot, because the pores of the pot were sealed over. Now, it's not that I'm against, I know someone's going to write to me now, well Simon, I like it when it's all rough and the trimming tool, you know, exposes all of the texture of the clay. And I don't want you to think that I don't like that either. I do like that, but you know, there's a place for that and there's a place for something else. And in this case, with this pot, what I want to do is just lightly burnish it. You see, there's no fixed rules about how you do things. People love rules. We like to think everything has got to be done in a certain way, you know, and it doesn't have to be so. It just depends a bit on the kind of pot and the circumstances, and what the individual maker has got in mind, you see. Because I might have something in mind that somebody out there who's just looking in from the outside they don't understand, they don't see the whole picture. They only see just their little moment that they're watching, and you see, they've immediately got a criticism maybe to make. But so, now you know what, here on the inside of the foot ring, I actually do like it. Now you're not going to see me trying to burnish that, because I actually like that. I like to see the exposed cut clay there, I do. Let me just bring the camera in a bit, and maybe you can already see, but you see how the surface here is got a slight sheen to it, a slight shine. That's because of the burnishing, you see. So I mean, there's different levels of burnishing that you can achieve, you know, with your pots, and it's, you know, there are people who will burnish and they will apply a certain oil or something onto the surface of the pot and burnish, and you can get a really shiny kind of burnished look to a pot. But then again, you see, I'm not doing this because this is not going to be the finished result in this case, because this pot will have some glaze over it, so, or it may have a surface decoration, or I might flute it. Now if you're going to flute a bowl like that, you don't want to have a rough outside like a ploughed field. You want to have it sort of somewhat smooth, so that the fluting tool will travel smoothly down the side of the outside of the pot. So yeah, so here's a fluting tool. Now if I was going to flute that, you see, you want that to be smooth. So as I say, all these things are down to the maker's preference and what he's got in mind, and etc. So when it's time to release the pot, I'm just going to give it a few light taps like that, you see. Now that's the profile of the pot. I'm just going to go over the lip of the pot here, because the lip of the pot has been face down, and it can have a sort of flattened look to it, which I don't like. So I just use the trim tool very lightly like this, supporting the bowl in the middle to keep it down right in the center, and with my finger under the lip there, with my trim tool just on top. It's a very light skim. That's it. Then I'm going to take some water, put my fingers in the water pot, and then just dribble the water off my fingertips right onto the rim like that. Now at this stage, what you don't want to do is take a sponge and try to sponge the lip, okay? Because that will bring all the grog to the surface, and we don't want that, because that will make the lip of the pot, the little bits of grog will poke through the glaze, and you'll get a rough edge to the pot, which is not good. It also weakens the lip. So what you want to do with the lip of the pot is compress it, smooth it, you see. Okay folks, well that's it I think. I was going to do that other bowl, but I've been yakking on so much with this one that maybe we'll draw this clip to a close. I think we've packed in quite a lot of information there, don't you? I think that's quite a nice form, a nice shape, narrow-footed, elegant, uplifted, let's say a sprightly form, and I think it's a good shape. It's come out quite well. I'm quite pleased with that one. Hey, good to be with you, and thanks for joining us, and continue. I'm about to be starting to make a few DVDs on different topics and subjects, which I'm going to be offering for sale on my website. It'll be of material that you're not going to see here on YouTube. So if you want it, you'll have to buy it. But anyway, you will see gradually a little bit of a selection of some DVDs there, hopefully some in Spanish and some in English, of non-YouTube material. Okay folks, that's it. Keep practicing. See you soon. Bye bye.